Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about kind of first world accessibility, things that I was curious about or was worried about before moving down to Nicaragua. I didn't know what the internet would be like, and I get questions about that quite often, or power outages, mail, just general things like that. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Allison. I currently post content on this channel surrounding our relocation from Canada to Nicaragua. If you're interested in that kind of content, the subscribe button is down below, and I also leave my TikTok and my Instagram. Okay, so like I was saying, these were things I was personally concerned about and I get questions about quite often. The first one being internet, and this was obviously kind of a big factor before we decided to move down here because my husband does work remote and that is our source of income. So that was a must. That's one of the first boxes that we had to tick off before deciding if this is actually someplace we can relocate. And I am happy to report that the internet is amazing. We've had absolutely no issue with the internet. The price is pretty comparable to back home. I don't remember what we were paying back home, but I know that when we did move into this house and this development, they weren't set up for fiber internet yet because my husband wanted the fastest possible connection speed, but they were putting fiber in another location, so they did install fiber before we moved into this house. So that is the type of internet that we have. I actually got my husband to write me a little email about the internet because he's the internet guy, not me. And I get specific questions sometimes. So we have 50 Mbps fiber, megabits per second. There we go, he wrote it out for me, up and down, whatever that means. $85 a month from Teccomunica. So it's Tecco, T-E-K-O. He says there are cheaper options available right now through Claro, and Claro is actually, I believe, who we use for our phone, which I will talk about later, but they are not as reliable. This is according to my husband. And then I asked him specifically about the internet we're using for our phone because I know it's different for the internet in our house versus, you know, like what's on our phone when we're not in the house and not using Wi-Fi. And he said that there are two providers in the area, Tigo and Claro, and we have gone with Claro. The reason we went with Claro is simply because it has a better signal at our house. Like I talked about in my budget video, it is significantly less expensive. We go with the prepaid plans out of convenience, and we're paying approximately $11. I think this is a month. Yes, $11 a month, and gets us up to 15 gigabytes unlimited local voice text and 60 minutes of international calls. I should actually do a whole video about specifically our phone because we have switched over to Nika phone numbers now, but we do have access to our Canadian phone numbers as well. So if somebody's calling our Canadian or texting our Canadian phone number, we still get those messages or those calls, but we're using a Nika phone number here in town. And I've actually switched over to my Nika one on things like WhatsApp and stuff as well. So if you want a more in-depth video on that, I can do one. But for the purposes of this video, we have fiber internet in the house. We use Claro for our phones. Internet never had any issues, so super happy with that. Okay, and one more thing on the internet. When the power goes down, which is something I'm gonna talk about next, the fiber does not go out. So when we have lost power here, we still have internet. So yay, super happy with the internet. Now moving on to power outages, because that was another big concern of mine. I was like, do we need to have a generator on hand in case the power goes down to keep our internet up or to keep our air conditioning on? Again, I was super worried about our middle daughter specifically and her heat regulation, things like that. But it's been, I mean, knock on wood, it's been fine. We have power outages from time to time. We're up higher on the hill and there's a lot of wind and whatnot, but they're very, very short-lived and they're usually late in the evening. So like, I don't know, there's no predictability, but I'd say probably once or twice a week, the power will go out around say like 10 o'clock at night and it will be back on within the minute, if not within 30 seconds. So we've never been out of power for any significant period of time. It's just kind of like it goes off. We already know just to wait a few seconds and then it comes back on. So yeah, I'm sure that can vary depending on what particular neighborhood you're living in here in Nicaragua, but here power outages have not been an issue. Moving on to another thing I would consider kind of first world accessibility things that I was wondering about before I moved down here, and that's things like Amazon or having things shipped to your house because I mean, I was an Amazon seller, so you can only imagine I was an Amazon buyer and an online shopper in general. I have been an online shopper for many, many, many years, and I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna have my online shopping fix anymore. And it's true, my online shopping has gone way, way down. Mind you, my needs have gone way, way down. I don't need different seasons of wardrobes. I don't need specific shoes for anything. I wear flip-flops and I wear a tank and shorts or a dress or a bathing suit like every day. So my needs have definitely gone down in that aspect. And then as far as like things I used to get off Amazon, I don't know if they were more food related or things in town. The delivery options here, I'll get into Amazon in a second, but the delivery, like in-person local delivery system here is amazing. There's kind of like Skip the Dishes or DoorDash or things like that back home. They have that here specifically in this town, but all the towns that I'm aware of, at least here in Nicaragua, the main bigger towns, they have delivery guys, and there's different companies that do it, but it's kind of like Skip the Dishes or DoorDash, where you can just go on and tell them what you want. They'll place the order for you. They'll deliver it to you. You pay them, super, super easy. They'll deliver it right to your house. Mind you, we don't have a real address, which is a whole different video I could do. So you send your location via WhatsApp in like a pin drop. It's kind of funny. But they deliver more than just restaurant stuff. So what's that called? Instacart. So I guess it's kind of like Instacart and DoorDash together, because you can literally text them anything you want and they will bring it to you. I can send them my grocery list and they'll go to multiple different stores. I don't do this because I like to shop in town and I like to pick my own produce and things like that. But if I needed to, if we didn't have a car for a period of time, which has also been a thing recently, I can do that, and they'll just go pick up whatever. And that's here locally in town. And then as far as things in the capital city, I've recently discovered that I can get just about anything delivered from the capital city. So there's two ways that we can do that. And the first one is some of the companies we used before we moved here. We got some bigger grocery orders and household supplies delivered. And there are some companies here in San Juan del Sur that go out weekly to the capital, to places like Costco and whatnot, and will bring back whatever you ordered, you pay them, and they'll take it to your house. So there's that option. But if you're looking for like a specific store, so for example, Speedo, there is like the swimsuit store, Speedo. They have that in Managua, the capital city. And we have just gone through goggles like crazy. Goggles and nose clips. My kids used to be synchro swimmers, so they really like their nose clips. And I needed another head cap because Kayla's in swim club. Things like that. I could have ordered off Amazon, which I'll get to in a second, but it takes a lot longer. So I was WhatsApping with the Speedo store. You can literally WhatsApp with basically any store that's there. You can WhatsApp with anybody. Like, I'm getting off topic, but even my doctor I have on WhatsApp, which I think is crazy. But anyways, I messaged them. They literally went through the store. I just told them what I was looking for and sent me photos of like the swim caps and the goggles and stuff like that. And I just told them which ones I wanted, and then was able to send them a bank transfer. And again, our pin drop location, and it was sent right to our house here the next day. And I think the delivery charge was like $6. So we've done that for a number of things, like certain baking ingredients that we can't get here in town. I can get it shipped down from the capital city, which is 2.5 hours away. Next day service, I think is amazing. But now moving on to Amazon. So yeah, no, Amazon does not deliver directly to Nicaragua. Maybe at some point, but I don't think we're anywhere close to that at this point. However, there are different services where you can deliver your items to Miami. So we have a Miami shipping address, and then there are different services that will actually import it into the country, into the capital city, and then there are services that will deliver it to your house, or you can just go to the capital city and pick it up. So we've probably been averaging 1 Amazon order a month since we've been here. So we've probably done 6 or 7 Amazon orders since we've been here. And again, it's just stuff that we can't specifically get in this country, or it's just a better deal on Amazon. I recently brought in seeds, like planting seeds. I didn't even think that would be allowed because I figured that was agriculture, but we spoke with the shipping company and it was allowed. So if you want seeds, you can get them through Amazon. But there's various companies that will import it for you. The downfall of that is there's an added fee because you're paying to have it imported into the country, and you're paying for the people that are doing that. So it can add up. It's not as cheap as just free delivery from Amazon. And the main issue is the time factor. It takes between 3 and 4 weeks. So there's no Amazon Prime. You're not getting anything the next day or even that week. It's going to be 3 to 4 weeks, which is good in an aspect, because I feel like it's teaching our kids more about patience if there's something specific that they need or whatnot, and also making us really question, do we need that item? because it's going to cost more and it's going to take a lot longer. So it's not impossible. You can get your Amazon deliveries here. You can get just about any delivery you want here. You're just going to pay a little bit more for it. It's going to take more time. As far as regular mail, like I mentioned earlier, we don't actually have an address. We have a house name, because a lot of houses, I think most houses have a name here. And we live in a specific development within a specific town, but we don't have an address or a postal code or a zip code or anything like that. So there's no mail box, nothing's delivered to our house on a regular basis like that. All bills or anything like that usually get emailed. I'm trying to think what else would come in the mail. We barely got anything in the mail at this point anyways, back in Canada. I guess mainly just deliveries, but I just explained deliveries. So yeah, nothing's coming in the mail that way. And as far as shipping out, we hadn't tried to ship anything out till recently. My daughter wanted to ship out a small little package to a friend back in Canada, and we were quoted $110 to ship a tiny little box from Nicaragua to Canada. So, and that was through just the main post office in the grocery store. So we haven't really looked into, I'm sure there must be a different way to do it, but I don't know how much cheaper it would be. I also don't know how long that package would take to get out of the country. So I don't have a lot of feedback on shipping out of the country other than us trying to ship that small package and it not being worth it. We did not send the package. It's going home with family. We have family coming in this week for a month. I'm so excited, my in-laws. Anyways, they'll be taking the package back with them. So that is definitely something that's different, the whole mail thing. I'm trying to think what else is like a common first world accessibility thing that I would have been worried about before I moved here. Yeah, I mean, everything you could think that you would need here or want here, for the most part, is accessible. There's been at no point where I've been like, oh crap, like I should have thought about that or brought that with me, because I've either been able to find it here or been able to have it shipped in. Cars, do a whole video on cars. Definitely buy something where all of the parts for the car are accessible within the country, because we've had to import car parts into the country, and that was an expensive and lengthy process, and we still don't have our car back. So we're learning on that aspect. But other than that, like I have people asking me like, is there anything you want from back home that you can't get there? And really, no. I mean, there's been a couple things here or there, but not things that we couldn't live without. And we could have just shipped them in ourselves too, but it was more out of convenience. They were coming to visit and just brought it anyways. So yeah, I hope that sheds some light on living here in Nicaragua and what's accessible versus what you might not think is accessible. I feel like I'm missing a whole big topic in general, but if you're curious about something, like what's it like there? I don't know, the living there, does like the power go out forever, or internet or things like that? Let me know, I'll be happy to answer. But yeah, we haven't had any complaints thus far. So I hope this was helpful, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.